Alright guys, welcome back. It's Reviews and More, and shockingly I have another fragrance here that I'm checking out. But the reason's different on this one. This one I am checking out because I actually am more interested in the thing that this is a twist of, which is Parfum de Marly's Greenly. But I was not about to blind buy a $300 bottle of cologne, so I said, well, why don't I try to find a well-hyped up, well-liked twist on that fragrance, and this is what came out more than anything else. That's called Aether Extrait from French Avenue, also in Fragrance World. They're like a subsidiary of some kind, secondary house. I'm not sure what the terminology is, but essentially this is described as basically Greenly, but maybe sweeter. So essentially, I want to know: am I going to like the DNA of what it's a twist of, and then tell my wife, "Hey, that's what I want for my birthday." That kind of thing. So it's a summer fragrance. Here's the notes: green apple, bergamot, and mandarin orange. That's on this one, not on Greenly. And then we get middle notes of cedar, petitgrain, cashmere, violet, and then base notes of musk, oak moss, and amberwood. So what I'm looking at here is not a super ultra masculine fragrance, but I am looking at a definite freshie. So I think that's probably where it'll end up being. I'm looking forward to the opening because all the green. I like green apple notes, and then I also want to see what that cashmere in the middle kind of ends up being like. Let's pop this thing open. This was $38 on the Fragrance Buy, a Canadian discounter. It is currently out of stock. Does that mean they're not making it anymore, or does that mean that they're just out? I saw Joma Shop go out of stock on this at one point. I just haven't bothered to check in, but I got this on the Fragrance Buy for just under $40 for a 100ml bottle. So let's go ahead and do this presentation. Whoa! Look, it's like a little clam box for your treasure. So there you go. Very nice presentation. Cool looking bottle. This is an Extrait de Parfum, so this is a very high concentration of whatever this smell is going to be like. And that's kind of what we're starting with. So it's going to be a high concentration. Sometimes I find that these extracts end up being a little too oily and can sometimes get make your skin have a sheen on it. Or sorry, yeah, skin have a little bit of an oil sheen on it. But also, if it's a colored batch of fragrance juice, it can potentially mess your clothes up, so I'm always careful when I see Extrait, although I do like the Extraits that I have. I just know, hey, be a little careful with them. So, as always, the way we test this, we do first on paper, then on skin, and then it blips for you for a second, but for me it's been like between 10 hours and 2 days when I get back to filming the second half of this, and I tell you about all the breakdowns and the dry down, the longevity, etc., etc. But for right now, let's go ahead and get these opening notes discussed, and then we'll go from there. I like them. Oh, I'm going to do one more because I like how good that atomizer is. It's a lot of juice. Okay, I can already smell it, so projection's already probably pretty strong. I get green apple. Heavy green apple in the opening, but it's kind of weird. I get a little bit of the green apple is kind of like overtaken by the smell of fresh cut grass. Like, it really is just like, it's imagine if somebody mowed a lawn and then somehow hit, I guess, the lemongrass section of your herb garden or something. Imagine it just kind of nicked it, so there's just a little bit of lemon in the air, but it smells a lot like mowing the grass. It's got that dew, kind of the smell of moisture, all combined with the green from the chopped up grass. That's actually really amazing. Let's see if the skin gives me a different kind of interpretation, because sometimes stuff on skin ends up being a little different than on paper. It's a little more fruity on paper, so I'm going to say that fresh cut grass is there, but it's a lot more like, hey, you're also getting a bunch of apples along with the fresh cut grass. That's awesome. Like, just based on that being the freshness note, it's amazing. This is like a great way to brighten your morning kind of deal. So I'm loving this already just based on what I'm getting out of it. But let's talk about, I'll do a quick B-roll for the bottle real fast right here. But essentially, that is a really nice, fresh, I wouldn't even call it a citrus opening, although there are 2 citruses listed on the notes. I'd almost call it like, again, it's more like a green. Yeah, there's no other way to describe that outside. Like, it's a sweet, fresh cut grass kind of smell. Really pleasant, really nice. Depending on what the notes are kind of going forward, if they kind of end up dissipating or becoming a little more masculine, because that did kind of come off a little bit sweet. So if you like, I love sweet fragrances and I wear them all the time. But if you're looking for, like, it's not perfumey kind of sweetness, but I am very interested to see what that violet note does, along with the cashmere, and seeing just how masculine this fragrance gets. Super office safe based on the opening, super date friendly, summertime, spring, daytime kind of stuff. But it's very, very nice overall so far. So let's quickly jump to way in the future, and I'll give you the dry down and the information about the longevity and projection that I experienced. Alright, so it's been actually several days at this point now. So let's talk about the dry down, performance, all that fun stuff. So first of all, performance-wise, this thing's going to project for at least the first 3 hours pretty well, especially if you overspray. As far as performance and longevity, like I could smell this on my skin 8 hours later. If I left out my clothes overnight, the smell would be gone. So I think there is a limitation there, which puts you in a good position because this thing will get you through a whole day of work, let's say, and you don't have to really worry too much about it. A great fresh gem scent. As far as let's talk about those dry down notes. Now, obviously, the opening notes of bergamot, the mandarin orange, the green apple, and whatever it is that's making that kind of like fresh cut grass smell. I think that's probably the petitgrain that's actually listed as a middle note because that's kind of like orange leaves, for lack of a better term. Those notes obviously are right off the bat really strong, project really hard. The middle notes of cedar, cashmere, and violet, and petitgrain. The petitgrain's there right off the bat, in my opinion. It's really present in and among those citruses. But the cashmerean, that's kind of the focal point in the middle. So when you start smelling it on your skin over time, it smells like very fresh laundry. It's kind of what it smells like, in the best kind of way. So very pleasant. The violet, I could not detect the violet. The violet is listed on the notes. I'm going to trust that it's there, and my nose is just not picking it up, which is fine. Sometimes violets can be hard for me to pick up on my nose. I go nose blind. But the cedar is there, but it's very light. It's not like a really sharp, sour cedar smell. So don't worry about that if you're worried about it being a little bit too sour. On the base notes of musk, oak, moss, and amberwood, they're all there. They're very long lasting, but what the note that jumps out the most after those initial notes go away is the cashmere, and that's kind of the one that really focuses on. The remainder of the dry down is very smooth, pleasant overall. Nothing really special about the final dry down, in my opinion. Those base notes, they're just nice. So overall, really great fragrance for under 40 bucks. I probably will be getting what this dupes at some point, just because I want that as a present one day maybe. But yeah, so great option for a budget-friendly source from French Avenue. And thank you all so much for watching.